Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Hello and welcome to The Print. I have with me today Ambassador Rajiv Bhatia. He is a distinguished fellow at the Gateway House, a Mumbai-based think tank, policy think tank. And he has been the ambassador, India's ambassador to Myanmar and various other countries. Thank you for talking to The Print, sir, and thank you for talking to us on the recent developments, which we are calling as a military coup in Myanmar. So if you can just tell for our viewers first what you actually think has triggered this kind of a drastic step by the military there, which otherwise we were thinking has, opted for a democratic sort of government in Myanmar.
Thank you, Nanima, for this opportunity. I'm really happy to interact with your institution and also talk through you to your viewers. Myanmar, as we all know, is an important neighbor of India. Indian policymakers, media, think tanks, and people at large have always shown a great deal of interest in the history of this country for obvious reasons. To answer your question directly, the story goes back to the parliamentary elections held in November in Myanmar, in which Madame Aung San Suu Kyi and her party, National League for Democracy, achieved a landslide victory once again. They had got this back in 2015 also. And therefore, at the moment soon after the election, it looked that it was all a smooth sailing, and she would be taking over this week as the de facto head of the government, and things would remain quite stable and secure. The problem occurred when the opposition party, the army's party, USDP, and the army itself began to point out that there have been a lot of frauds and malpractices in the voting, and especially fraud in the voting list, as later the military spokesman said. So all these complaints went to the Myanmar Election Commission, which essentially looked at them and dismissed them as without any basis or without any evidence. This may sound somewhat familiar story, having heard so much about the same kind of issues in the US in the recent weeks. So people began to take it a bit more seriously. But it's only about, I think, 5 days back when some of us receiving signals from our friends in Myanmar realized that something was seriously amiss. And then very quickly the talk of a possible coup emerged. And then, although the speculation was dismissed by the military itself, lo and behold, on Monday, once again, we were seeing the old movie in slow motion.
That's a good way of putting it, sir. But the concern right now is also, how it impacts India, because we saw last year our army chief visiting Myanmar, foreign secretary visiting Myanmar, and the fact that we just gave them, to enhance defense cooperation with them, we gave them submarines, and the fact that we were also looking to enhance that relationship with the fact that they are having a democratic government. So my point is, first, sir, how do you see the impact on India? And then I'll come to the other issues.
Thank you very much. I think that's a very important question. I would like to pick on one phrase you used when you said Myanmar was a democracy. In fact, as you know very well, you are a very sharp journalist. It has been a partial democracy. Power was shared between the elected representatives on the one hand and the military on the other hand. And therefore, India, of course, even though it was a partial democracy, had no difficulty in dealing with the government and taking all possible measures in our armory to expand and deepen cooperation with Myanmar. My answer would be that we have been on this path before. there is enough experience accumulated in the Foreign Office of India, that is the Ministry of External Affairs. People have clear memories and experiences of having dealt with similar issues back in the 90s, early 90s. And therefore, my belief is that the government of India will take a very balanced and pragmatic approach towards Myanmar.
Sir, as you rightly said, that this is not new for us, and we've seen also in the era of Mrs. Indira Gandhi, and then subsequently in Rajiv Gandhi's era, there were we have the experience of dealing with the army there. However, we also saw mass exodus coming, Burmese Indians especially coming back to India, and that had created a lot of tensions. Then there was this issue of the Northeast insurgency. And in the light of the fact that we are also now having heightened tensions with China, how do you see all this panning out? Do you think Northeast is going to get impacted again?
On this, Myanmar's cooperation is important to India. And that is one motivation why India would always try to have cooperative relationship with Naypyidaw, the capital of Myanmar. And then, indeed, the larger strategic and geopolitical question of China, I think it is an open secret that there is a clear, sense of competition unfolding in Myanmar, which involves the Chinese side and the Indian side. No doubt, China has secured probably much greater success and more progress, but India is still very much is an important player there.
So I was reading certain reports, and as per the latest developments, it seems that the army there has declared emergency maybe for a year. And it seems that, there will be this attempt that they will not go back on its decision, while other leaders, the NLD leaders, in fact, State Councillor Suu Kyi, she remains under detention. In this kind of a scenario, and let's say if this continues this year and they do not relent, then what do you think the government will be doing? Because it has a special focus on the neighborhood policy.
It will all depend on their ability to restore normalcy, isn't it? Therefore, we will have to simply wait and watch. Now, the fundamental issue is as to how much Myanmar has changed over the years and what exactly are the mindsets of the new generation, the young people, the monks, the cadres of the NLD, the attitude of the various ethnic minorities. So serious Myanmar watchers would probably prefer to reserve their judgment on all these factors. It's very easy to produce an instantaneous analysis, but I think information is coming out slowly. I've been in touch with a number of my interlocutors in Mandalay, Yangon throughout the day today. In parts, there is calmness. In other parts, already, I think, there are signs of discomfort or discontent. So I would say that the internal situation of Myanmar merits to be watched. India, I think, will do that carefully.
If this army rule there continues, and if the US imposes sanctions, do you see this impacting their economy in a drastic manner, and people there again going back to abject poverty that is there, which is undeniable?
Well, I think, my reading suggests that things have changed in Myanmar for good, like you said yourself. And the linkages with the region, ASEAN countries and China have expanded. They also have expanded with India. So Myanmar of 2021 is vastly different from Myanmar of 1990. As to the possibility of sanctions by the US and other Western countries, particularly the UK and some European countries, we need to bear in mind that even for them, Asia has changed a great deal. The leaders of most of these countries are saying today that for them, the issue number one in Asia and in the Indo-Pacific is China. China's aggressiveness and China's unacceptable behavior all across all along on its periphery. So the Western capitals, in my humble view, will have to take a decision as to whether they would act in a routine knee-jerk fashion, or they would be looking at the larger reality.
Sir, coming to connectivity, now that has also been a humongous plan that India has been working on, be it under the UPA or be it under the Modi government, the Kaladan multimodal project, the India-Thailand trilateral highway, in which Myanmar was always, and Myanmar's position has always been key. And also the Sitwe port. What do you think will now happen to those connectivity projects? Do you think we'll have to wait and watch how the situation unfolds? And these are very key for India as far as connectivity with ASEAN is also concerned. So where do you see things going from here on these particular connectivity projects?
I know that you are very knowledgeable about these projects. I hope your viewers also have matching interest in them. The larger point I would make is that, yes, indeed, India has huge investment in terms of infrastructural projects in that country. The two key ones, as you pointed out rightly, is the trilateral highway project and the Kaladan project. Progress on these projects presupposes a decent working relationship between New Delhi and Naypyidaw, and I am reasonably confident that that relationship will be ensured by both sides.
So my last question to you will be on Indo-Pacific. Now we are seeing a lot of foreign media reports coming up and discussions and debates that, Myanmar's position and then the fact that it has a huge coastline on the Bay of Bengal, there are shipping lines crisscrossing it. What happens to the Indo-Pacific now if you have one country there which is run by the army? Do you see that as an impact or you don't?
Well, I think, there is some impact because if there is instability in a strategically vital player in Indo-Pacific such as Myanmar is, then there would be a cause for worry. On the other hand, if the army is able to stabilize the situation quickly, ensure reasonably good economic progress, and also, above all, ensure to take independent foreign policy, especially with regard to its neighbors such as China and India, then I would say that, in fact, we could even see some correction in Myanmar's approach towards China, because the fact is that some scholars would argue that perhaps Madame Aung San Suu Kyi had taken Myanmar a bit too close to China, and it is quite possible that the new government may try to do some corrections. But this is again, a kind of intelligent speculation or analysis. We will have to wait for some of the hard decisions that the new rulers will have to take very soon.
Sure. Thank you so much, Ambassador Bhatia, for talking to us on the impact of the military coup in Myanmar, what it means for India and the region. You please take care.
Thank you.